So Jerónimo, why did we make this course?
Well, this course comes out of a series of workshops and encounters that we've been having with people, with facilitators and guides and people working with ayahuasca now for more than 5 years, to discuss topics around how to increase the benefits and reduce the risks of ceremonial plant work. And what we found is that there is an incredible amount of very, very useful, very good knowledge out there, even wisdom around how to, increase the safety of these ceremonies. But that somehow this knowledge was almost always sort of encapsulated. So you would find a group here and they had discovered and they had developed a number of very, very useful techniques. And they shared this with their immediate sort of group, but nobody else. And then over here there was another group and they had discovered some other interesting things, but they were also not talking to this one. And then over here there was another group, and over here there was another group. So as we started talking to many people and we began to gather this sort of different techniques and sort of very rich body of knowledge, we thought that it would be very interesting to make a compendium of all of this knowledge and put it in an online course, so that everybody could have access to it. So, what this has to do with what we noticed was that although the knowledge is there, what wasn't there was a common space, a place of dialogue and a place of sharing where this knowledge could not just exist, but also circulate, so everybody could learn from one another. And we could also learn, because, all we are doing in this course is, presenting what we have learned from other people. So yeah, that's the objective of the course. But I mean, there's also been some
objections.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think that are the main objections about this kind of course?
Something that we have heard from other people is, I don't need a course like this. My safety is already good.
And what can we reply if someone considers that?
Well, what's behind this is that they think, or they seem to think, I've been doing this for 20 years. Who are these ICS people? And how are they going to know more than me? That's basically what's it. And to that, we will reply, well, of course, lots of people know more than we do. Most of them know more than we do. But what we are presenting in this course is not our knowledge, but what we learn from the collective. So that, of course, there's many people out there that know a lot, but nobody knows more than the entire collective. And that's what we're trying to present in this course.
Also, we are going to share with the students the knowledge that is not only from the collective of guides that have been working with ayahuasca, but knowledge that is from the world of the psychologist, the world of the scientific community, and the world of the psychiatric community, and how the knowledge of these fields can be applied in the work with ayahuasca in order to increase safety and reduce problems.
Exactly. There's a great body of knowledge that complements the sort of empiric knowledge that guides themselves have, and we've tried to bring this into the course, from science, from psychology, from psychotherapy, from pharmacology, to sort of complement the knowledge that is already in the practitioners.
And tú me preguntas, ¿no?
No.
No, okay. What are we going to learn? Okay. So, Jerónimo, what are we going to learn in this course?
Well, there's a number of teachers that will go through different modules. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to talk about the most common risks for the practitioners and for the participants. And this is what we call the 5 horsemen and the 6 traps, or the 6 pitfalls. And these are a series of the most common dangers that can happen, and also how to avoid them. And then, and this includes things from overwhelming effects to ayahuasca told me that, to issues having to deal with money, with power, with intercultural relationships, and also legal aspects and legal self-defense. And then there's also a series of resources that we call the 7 resources, which are a series of standardized documents that we have been working now for a long time, you and I, and that have been validated by different experts, and that basically span the entire life cycle of people of sort of of ceremonial plant work. So this includes, for example, a guide for first-timers, where everything that is explained, everything, so they can be properly informed about what's going to happen. There's also a health questionnaire that has been validated with doctors that will gather and point out most of the most common sort of interactions that you need to know about before people participate. There's also a legal consent form.
And I think that in general these protocols, which also include a protocol for emergencies in ceremonies and a protocol for helping the guys in the work with integration, and a protocol for the after ceremony, for the group sharing, and so on, are going to help the guys in a very practical way. No?
And what are you going to teach?
Okay, I'm going to have a section that is called Psychology for Not Psychologists, and the main idea of that section is to help the guys to incorporate some basic knowledge that came from psychology and that can be applied in the work with ayahuasca. We are going to talk about ethics and the specific ethics of the ayahuasca work in our world. And like we discovered that most of the people that want to drink ayahuasca in our culture because they have some sort of psychological difficulty or emotional difficulty, and that is important to have some essential ideas about, for instance, what we call vulnerable patients, no? And we are going to consider in that area people with narcissistic tendencies, people with depression, people with addictions, people experiencing grief, and also we are going to discuss a lot how to distinguish when people have visions or messages that came from the plants and that are more symbolic or are more literal, and how to approach these messages in a way that is safe for the people. The general idea of our training is to develop skills and knowledge and practices around safety and around care for the guide and for the participants, because the care is there connected.
And there's also going to be other teachers. We're going to have Jose Carlos Bozo, who's scientific director at ICEERS, and he's going to talk specifically about what we can learn from science and the latest scientific research, interactions, bioethics, and also what he calls the culture of trauma, which is very interesting. And there's also going to be Marc Archala, who's the founder, he's a psychologist and is the founder of the ICEERS Support Center. He ran it for the first 10 years, and he's going to talk about the lessons he learned after 10 years and more than 1,000 cases in ICEERS Support Center.
I forgot to say something before we end. That this is a course not only for ayahuasca guides, but it's also for the assistants and also for the people who organize sessions.
Exactly.
And this is very important too. This is not a course about shamanism. We are not going to speak anything about the energetic, spiritual, or ritual aspects of the sessions. This is a course for people that already are running ayahuasca sessions and that they want to increase safety in their domains. But this is not a course about shamanism.
And this is not a course to learn how to run ceremonies.
Exactly.
This is also very important. This is a course for people that already know how to run ceremonies, who want to increase the safety of their work. This is also the reason, why we're not going into sort of like, energetic, ceremonial, and sort of spiritual aspects of the plants. Not because we don't believe they're important. We know they're very, very important, but because we don't have the place or the authority to teach these things to anybody, much less in an online course. We don't believe that you can even learn these things in an online course, And even if you could, we probably wouldn't be the people to teach you these things. So maybe we should go into that. How is this? How are we going to learn this? Basically, the course is going to go for 6 months. It starts. It's going to start in May. It ends in December, and it's going to have 2 parts. One part is pre-recorded videos, video lessons, and there's going to be more or less between an hour and an hour and a half of videos every week that will keep with the video lessons, and that people can watch on their own, whenever they can, and they can consume this. And this is great, but we always felt that there was something lacking if all we're doing is giving people videos to watch. We wanted people to interact, we wanted people to be able to ask questions, and also we wanted to keep learning, because this course is what we learn from other facilitators, and there's going to be other facilitators in the course, and we also want to learn from them. So we wanted to create also a space that was live, a live dialogue, where questions could be asked and we could also all learn from each other. And this will be every 2 weeks. There's going to be a video conference that is open for all the students, where we'll have an open space where we can discuss and talk to each other and meet each other, and keep learning and keep growing the compendium.
Yes, and I think that is also important to mention that for the people that want to keep privacy, we are going to have a system in which the person can participate and ask questions and send opinions and so on, but at the same time it's going to be anonymous. No?
Yeah, we wanted to keep it this way so that the people that want to remain anonymous can remain anonymous and just and sort of participate that way, and then for the people that want to be in a group and talk and they also can, also because we're going to keep learning. This course is going to keep changing every year and evolving. This is the 2nd year that we do it. We did it last year in Spanish. We learned a lot, and so the classes have already changed. And next year the classes will likely also change with what we learned this year. So all the students will have lifetime access to all of these materials, and they will also be able to share as the group, as the knowledge grows. They will also be able to have access to this. Yeah.
So hope that you can join us, and here we will be. No?
Yeah, that's basically it. We're very happy with the course. I think it's going great. People that took it last year are also very, very happy. We had some really, really good comments, and we hope that you can join us.